The Cleveland Cavaliers are back in the lab this offseason, cooking up what could be a pivotal draft for the franchise's future. While much of the focus is on free agency and possibly retaining the likes of Ty Jerome and or Sam Merrill, Cleveland will have some big decisions to make come the 2025 NBA draft, where they have two selections towards the back end. You see, with the newest CBA and second apron rules beginning to take hold across the league, developing young, cheap, and in-house talent has become the name of the game, especially for contenders who don't have much in the way of means to address holes in their roster on the open market or via trade. Therefore, it is going to be crucial for teams like Cleveland to hit on their second round draft picks. In fact, they may be even more valuable now than they have ever been. So today, we're diving into the buzz surrounding the Cleveland Cavaliers and their potential interest in Kentucky sharpshooting forward Koby Brea. Could Brea's elite shooting and sneaky athleticism be the missing puzzle piece in Cleveland's wing rotation? Let's break it down and what he brings to the table, and whether the Cavs should take the swing. But before we dig into why Koby Brea remains a possibility, do your boy a favor and smash that like button. Subscribe to keep the NBA content coming and hit that notification bell so you stay locked in all offseason. Who is Koby Brea? Well, Koby Brea, depending upon where you look, is a 6'6" or 6'7" wing from the Bronx, specifically Washington Heights, who began his collegiate journey at Dayton, my hometown, where he earned the Atlantic 10 Sixth Man of the Year twice. In his 4 years as a Flyer, he carved out a reputation as one of the best pure shooters in college basketball. In fact, he not only led the Atlantic 10 in three-point percentage, but the entire country as well. Think about that. Finishing the 2023-24 season a supremely efficient 49.8% from distance on great volume at 6.1 attempts per contest to be exact. He was letting it fly without hesitation and was hitting nearly half of his attempts. You can't teach that type of accuracy. Following his 4-year tenure at UD, he transferred to Kentucky for his senior season, where he would continue to embrace a floor spacing role, averaging 11.6 points per game while shooting an eye-popping 43.5% from deep on high volume. It should be noted that he's not just a catch-and-shoot threat either. Brea showed flashes of movement shooting, quick trigger pull-ups, and an underrated ability to navigate off-ball screens and relocate for open shots, all of which made him a constant threat on the perimeter. There are indeed concerns about his athleticism and defensive capabilities, but Brea's shooting prowess has kept him on NBA teams' radars. Think of a light version of Duncan Robinson with better defense, or perhaps Sam Hauser, who needed to improve his athleticism to a serviceable level, and he did to become a rotation player on a championship level team. Why should the Cavs be interested? The Cavaliers, after a strong 64-18 season and clinching the Central Division, are looking to bolster their roster for a deeper playoff push. And bolstering their roster may be tricky with the limited assets they have at their disposal. The draft represents an opportunity to add another piece or two to the puzzle. More than a few mock drafts have projected Brea as a mid to late second round pick, potentially landing with the Cavaliers at number 49. And if we're being honest with ourselves, Cleveland is no longer in a spot where they absolutely need perimeter shooting at all costs, but adding more of it is always a plus, especially after watching them cool off at the worst possible time in their series against the Indiana Pacers. Brea's skill set aligns well with their requirements. His catch and shoot ability could provide immediate spacing and scoring off the bench, perhaps as a potential replacement for Sam Merrill, who could depart this offseason, or Isaac Okoro, who the team appears to be trying to move at the moment. Brea's gravity could further unclog the lane for Mobley and Allen, while also giving Mitchell and Garland room to operate in pick and roll sets, something the Cavs are ultra reliant on. He fits the mold of a modern NBA wing who knows his role, doesn't demand the ball, and moves with purpose. That is critical for a team that isn't likely to offer many on-ball reps to incoming rooks. This means that being able to be serviceable without the ball in your hands is likely a prerequisite for any reserve on the team, especially if you could be potentially replacing a Merrill or even Strus one day. He shouldn't be relied upon to create for others, but he does have a rather intelligent floor game. He keeps the ball on the move and can make some confident bounce passes through traffic. And as long as this is the case and his passing is team friendly, he can add value as a secondary playmaker. Fit and potential impact. Under coach Kenny Atkinson, who has a track record of developing young talent dating back to his Brooklyn days, Brea could find a nurturing environment to refine his game. While he may not be a primary creator, his shooting can legitimately open up the floor in ways that few on the roster currently can, especially as it pertains to the bench. The reality is that he wouldn't likely be a day one contributor contributor. It's not impossible, but far from a guarantee, especially when you consider the bevy of players who would likely be ahead of him on the depth chart entering the 2025-26 season. This would more than likely mean that he would spend the bulk of his rookie year, if not all of it, with the franchise's G League affiliate, the Cleveland Charge, where he can hone his skills in a less pressurized situation. That is the short-term outlook. However, for Brea to secure a consistent role, improvements in his defensive footwork and lateral quickness will be crucial. His ability to adapt to the NBA's pace and physicality will determine his long-term impact, and in that regard, concerns and developmental curve. Now, he's not a perfect prospect. Brea lacks high-end burst or creation off the bounce. His handle is a little too loose at times, and he struggled when chased off the line. On defense, he's a smart team defender, but not a lockdown guy by any means, yet. Still, compared to someone like Isaac Okoro, Brea offers a higher offensive ceiling, even if his defense isn't quite as tenacious. It's a trade-off that makes sense in the modern NBA if you can hide it. Imagine Brea in a small ball lineup with Garland, Mitchell, Hunter, and Mobley. That group suddenly has the shooting to compete with top-tier playoff offenses. He wouldn't need to do much, just hit his open threes and survive on defense. Don't be chopped liver. The hope is that he could develop into the ideal 7th or 8th man, and maybe even more than that one day. Conclusion. In today's NBA, elite shooting is a coveted skill. You all know this. Koby Brea offers that in abundance. He's a smart cutter, an unselfish ball mover, and capable of defending wings with solid fundamentals and quick feet. If the Cavaliers are looking to add a reliable shooter to the rotation, Brea could be a valuable pick in the late second round. He could be a plug-and-play option off the bench, stretching the floor in second units, or even playing some small ball 3. And his movement, shooting, and high IQ could help reshape Cleveland's bench identity into something far more dynamic than it currently is. Honestly, I see him as a potential risk-reward type of selection. The risk: Brea's limited on-ball creation and lack of athleticism. He won't be blown by defenders or skying for blocks. If his shot doesn't translate, he's a fringe rotation guy. But the reward: an efficient 3-and-D wing who fits perfectly next to Cleveland's core and addresses a glaring need on the bench. What do you think? Should the Cavs take a chance on Koby Brea? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more NBA draft insights. Go Cavs!